Hello and welcome to the Assetto Corsa Competizione Sim Series. I am your host Gareth Rumpler, and I am joined today by Paul Glover to watch the Silver Split Round 3 at Monza. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. I've been a bit of a last-minute panic on the technical hitches this evening, but yeah, I'm doing okay, thank you, Gareth. How are you?
I am.
Are you wiping the sweat away from your brow?
Yeah, I am better now that the internet has returned, as always. It's amazing how effective that is on our lives now, but we are in qualifying already, obviously, because of the late start of our stream. So we do not have time to chatter too much about the championship so far. Looking at the standings, we have Zambrano leading the AM split, who obviously they finished their qualifying a while ago. We are in the last 5 minutes of the qualifying for Pro, and as we stand right now, Stein van den Dungeon is on pole position with a 148.4. Anything interesting you see, knowing the drivers in this split better than I do, Paul?
I'm surprised he's number one. Yeah, I'm really surprised he's up there actually. To be honest, but it's good. It's good to see. I think the Lexus is kind of OP here, isn't it?
Lexus, definitely a nice car. It's got stable, it's got the chug, the speed, but we haven't seen it being so strong here. We've got an interesting selection of cars at the top, actually. 3 Lamborghinis right near the top, a load of Mercs as well.
Yeah, they could be quite strong here as well, don't they? So
yeah,
and I think he's just gone faster with a 147.9. So yeah, finding even more time. And round he goes again. So maybe he'll find even more time at the moment. But interesting that Zambrano in the AM split is still currently P2 as well. So mixing it.
Yeah, absolutely. The split's not as separated as we often see. Only 1 second between the top 14 positions, and about 5 or 6 of those seem to be AM drivers.
Yeah, last time out we saw a bit more of a break actually than what we're seeing right now. So, but round one, we again saw a few AMs mixing it with the pros. So it's something we're starting to see rather regularly in the silver split. And let's be honest, I mean, we're hoping for better driving standards than last week from these guys. I know that it was tricky conditions because it was wet, but we felt as a commentary team, myself and Dan, that just drivers weren't really driving to the conditions, and there were a couple of protests submitted this week from drivers, and they were rebuffed because, you know, the drivers need to understand that just because a car breaks ahead of you a little bit earlier than you, and you've not foreseen that, well, that's your fault for not backing off a little bit sooner and driving to those to the conditions. So hoping to see some better driving this week, and especially as we know the infamous chicane at the start of Monza. So let's see if they can keep it clean.
Absolutely, that's a lesson that hopefully they've learnt, because they will need to use it here. Monza, multiple very big breaking points here with the chicanes especially, and following people into those when you are nice and packed up requires a bit of forethought on how early you'll need to brake.
But it's not just braking, it's like I find myself is just lifting.
Yes.
Just lifting off the accelerator. If you're faster than the car ahead, you're faster, and it doesn't matter whether, for me personally, if I lift off a little bit earlier, and I'll try and spend a couple of laps behind the car to understand where I am quicker, where I maybe might be able to make the move. The challenge that we saw with some of the driving last week is some drivers are obviously quick and quicker than the car ahead, but they're too quick to try and make the move. So it's this thing I bang on about all the time. It's racecraft, and that's where drivers need to understand that it's an important element. It's not just about hot lapping. You've got other cars on the track, and you need to be mindful you don't ruin their race as well as your own.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely lift and brake a little bit earlier and just brake less, and you end up soaring back up to the back of your opponent and lose very little, if any, time. So people should definitely give some more practice of that. We had not too much issues. We obviously had, I know in my split on bronze, we had a few incidents in turn 1, but nothing too outrageous in the lower splits, I don't think. So hopefully we can continue that here. Here's the bigger grid, obviously, so slightly more chance. For those who don't know, we have two 30-minute races coming up, both of which will be with this qualifying order. We are coming near the end. We're going to see people starting their last attempts at flying laps.
Yeah, so before we get to the qualifying, it's worth mentioning that we do have some drivers with some grid penalties tonight. So car 10, which is Martin Butterman, and car 52, which is Martin Kube. Both grid penalties, but we've also got a disqualification for this round, which is car 690, which is Rainer Reza. So he won't be taking part in this race tonight.
Jack Taylor comes across the line as one of the first to cross the checkered flag, improves his time but stays in second position. Martin Luke then will become the third driver across the line, still in 17th. We've had a spinner on the last corner, and Andrew Hearn comes across again with a small improvement. Does hop him up one position. 2 cars left on the track.
Yeah, Van Dungen is currently leading the way, and he's on his way round, but I don't think he's up on his time at present. He's a little bit down, but the guys behind aren't going any faster, so I don't feel that pole position is being threatened.
Yep, Gus is going to be the last person on the track and the last to make an improvement, as long as he can keep it through Parabolica. Could hop himself up a few places because the field is pretty tight above him. He's in 21st right now. Did lose a little bit of time for Parabolica, but still going to make an improvement, and he's going to hop all the way up to 18th.
Yeah, like you said, it's very closely packed, isn't it? Which is again, I think it's a testament to the drive, to the way that we establish which split the drivers are in.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're always going to get the odd anomaly, and I've talked about this before on streams. Is certain cars go well at certain tracks, that tends to throw a few spanners into the works, but also drivers have their particular track that they tend to go well at. For me, it's always Brands Hatch. Gareth, do you have one of those where you tend to always go well at? Or you bad at all of them?
I'm pretty bad at all of them, but there are a couple of tracks that I like. I don't think I have one in particular, but I like myself some Kyalami and some Paul Ricard, oddly, I seem to always do well at. But anyway, that has been the qualifying. We've got Stein van den Dungen on pole position with Jack Taylor right behind him. Jordi Zambrano in the pole for the AMS, and we will come back to you soon with the grid walk. On pole position, we have Stein van Dungen for this night race around Monza, for both these night races around Monza, with Taylor second in the Mercedes on the second row. Another Mercedes in third with Zambrano, followed by Bunyan in the Lamborghini. Jesper Eriksson, then behind him in another Lamborghini with Hawk Peterson in another Lexus, and Martins breaks up this trail of similar cars in the Porsche ahead of Dahl in his Ferrari. Walker and Mpabwashi both in similar cars, with Namath in the first of the McLarens. Hodge, Fernandez and Daly follow them. Rubu in the first Audi, Dahl, Luerk and then Vuss. Santon, Hearn, Werner, Chatterjee, Gorgstig, Hughes I think it is, Sauchilis, Rayner, and then a few more at the back that I've haven't caught. I got pulled away. I got pulled away, unfortunately. We can see them as they come past. Here we go. Dahl, Rubu, Luke, Vuss, Santon, Hearn, Werner, Chatterjee, Gorgstig, Hughes, Sikas, Rayner, Meadows, Manink, Storm, Haller, Von Gastel, Kovisto, Redmond, Keski Kikonen, Sorensen, Kube, and then Butterman. We'll be back.
Redmond not qualifying very well this week. I'm a little bit disappointed in Paddy.
We'll be back after the formation lap. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the start-finish straight on Monza for the first of our night races here. We can see the lights in the distance of the cars coming down to the start-finish straight. Got the table here to remind you of the order as we're coming up to roll. I thought of this as a short track. I didn't expect the parade lap to go on for so long, but I guess it's not quite as fast as we see the cars now. Full chat rolling past us. Down to the straight. Van Dungen still in the lead. Both the McLarens following him. So you can see going through turn one. They're all clean so far. Again, a little bit on the rough there. One Mercedes off.
The cars have taken the escape route, I can see.
Yeah.
I've got a shot of overhead, and one car just waited on the entry and just let everybody else go. So yeah, no complete mess, which is just something we love to see. So,
yep, no big issues. Oh, there's a car off there before the second chicane. Just manages to miss taking anyone off. It looks like a Porsche there having a little bit of an issue. Perhaps Mark Bunyan, who we are following on board with right now, as the timings start to come back to us.
On the map, as you can see there, Jason Daly forgot to push drive, so he is a little bit further back at the moment. But I think it was Paddy Redmond that just waited for everybody just to make their way past. But
nice and safe, nice and clean. Good to see people using the escape road, because people often neglect using that to keep the starts clean.
A slow-moving Martin Kube at the back. I don't know what's happened.
Ooh.
Car 52.
We've had a Lamborghini off as well. Is that Scott Walker? It might have been. Looks like one of these guys went into the wall. We've had another spin for a McLaren. That must be Nemeth. It's not Nemeth, it's another McLaren. Is that Gus? That's Gus who lost it just coming out of Ascari. So no big incidents, but a lot of people just tripping up on cold tyres at the start of this race, not ready for how much grip they'll have.
I've just gone back to see and have a look at him, and there's a couple of cars having into the parabolica. Luckily, that wasn't anything too bad there. But Martin Kube obviously must have had a moment, because he was coming back off the grass, which is why he was moving slow a moment ago. So yeah,
going down now to the first corner for the second time. It's looking pretty clean. We've got a couple of cars side by side, slightly back there. It looks like it might have been used.
I think there's a few yellows, yeah, into the first corner. Unfortunately, a few cars have gone down the escape road. But again, smartly sort of getting out of it, really, using what that road's intended for.
Yep, no big calamities as long as you take it slowly enough as well. No penalties either, and at the front of the race still, Stein van den Dungeon is leading in his Lexus with Jack Taylor following him. Bunyan in the Lamborghini is up to third, with Jose Martins in the Porsche on fourth, Jesper Eriksson in fifth. Down into the bottom half of the top 10, it starts getting a lot closer together with Zambrano, Peterson and Pamwashi.
Kube into the back of Strom, and unfortunately the hit was big enough that Strom has gone off the track in his Porsche. I didn't think it was going to be that big a hit, but yeah, unfortunately it was. It was just a bit too late on the brakes, really. He's not having a great couple of laps, Kube, unfortunately.
He's fallen quite a bit down the order. There's the taps that Paul was talking about.
And he just couldn't quite keep it, and he's in the gravel, so there'll be a penalty incoming. Talking of penalties, I can see the stewards are going to give us a couple soon. I'll update you on those shortly.
Absolutely. It's just in front of us here. We have side by side, but it looks like Meninka and Gorgstig, and then Kube's getting dived as well by Kovisto, who is in the Lexus behind them.
Yeah, he's gone wide through Parabolica there. Might give the Lexus the run on him.
So here's Meninka side by side with Gorgstig, who's the one trying to get ahead of him right now, going down to the first corner.
Hernandez is down. He's had a bad couple of laps because he started 13th today, and he's down in 32nd at the moment.
Ooh, we've got quite a lot of people there on your screen just trying to squeeze through turn one, but they all managed to get through just about safely.
Yeah, very, very closely, and seeing the back. Oh,
one of the Porsches just losing it there, just on his own.
That's Van Gastel. So we can see 10-second penalty coming in for car 88, and there's a 5-second penalty coming in for car 89.
Car 88 is Jose Martinez. He's got his 10-second penalty now, and he's in 5th position, so he's going to have to take that when he pits. And that's going to throw him down the order. And as we say that, the pit is now open.
89? Who's 80? Oh, that's Nico Keskikkonen. Yeah.
Keskikkonen.
I butcher their names every week.
Nico Keskikkonen.
Yeah, Nico Keskikkonen. Yeah, and it looks like car 89 and 40 is about to get another 5-second penalty as well.
Oh, so not a good start for Keskikkonen.
No.
He's now getting pressured by Dieter Santon.
the stewards have got an incident involving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars to look at. So, and that was the first incident right at the start. But I didn't. The problem is that for the stewards, it's having to look at each one to understand whether just one's just a contact, because the game, because all the contacts could have happened at different parts of the track. It's just they all happened at the same timestamp. So it's not necessarily the same incident. The game isn't that smart when it chucks the information out. But yeah, not, like I was saying at the start of the stream, I expect better. I see there's car 56 as a yellow flag. That's Robu, Octavian Robu in the Audi.
Yep, he's making a decently safe job of rejoining so far. Being nice and calm about it. We'll try and see what happened there. Here he is in the replay coming down to turn 1. We'll see if it's another mistake by his own. There's 2 cars going side by side ahead of him. The Porsche on the outside, McLaren just between him. Oh, Porsche goes a little bit wide there and just tips him round.
Oh, that's close. Yeah. I mean,
it's a tricky one. It probably falls on the Porsche, but it could be a racing incident. We'll have to see how the stewards come down on it.
Yeah, the thing is that, like, no offense to him, but if you're the Audi there, you're Robert, you've got to be giving the other car enough room.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try and make the corner, and that's what I was saying earlier on. It's about racecraft. Is that this is the thing I find a little bit frustrating when I'm racing, is that because they're ahead, they think that they could just go on the racing line and then just close the door on me. Well, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to you, so don't do it to me.
Yeah,
I want to race you.
When you know there's a car on your inside there, you need to leave room for there to be a car on your inside.
Yeah, and I think that was a bit of a case. And I think you're right. My initial reaction would be a bit of a racing incident, I think. But we shall see how the stewards view it.
Absolutely, we're on board with the Wing of Storm now as Kavisto is just getting a huge run on him. Strom must have had a bad run from Ascari because everyone is just closing up hugely on him here. Rubo not managing to quite make him lose 2 positions in 1, but Butterman and Rubo both getting on his back now as Kavisto roars off into the distance.
Some cars already being lapped, so I can see that Kube is about to be lapped by Brian Dull, who's currently in 10th position.
Yep, we've had a few drivers go in for early pits, probably ones with a little bit of damage. Trying to get out of the crowd maybe as well and just avoid more, as we have side by side 2 Audis here. This is Strom and Rudo, so Strom is having to take the worst exit there from the first chicane as well. And now he has a Porsche on his back.
Yeah, so I mean the battle up ahead is, for pole position isn't really happening, but I'm just watching Van Dungen and
ooh, there's been a crash. Strom just came into the side of the Lexus, and they're now both really awkwardly on the road in the second chicane. Few cars just ducking around them. They've both gotten off the road now and can rejoin, but we'll likely see a penalty there for Storm for that.
I was really impressed there with the Lexus because he went backwards rather than forwards. So that's the kind of stuff you wanna see. Not, and they both waited very patiently before they, and that's exactly what you want to see. Because last time out, we saw a driver try and avoid an incident, and that was great. But then he just put his foot down and drove through 2 other cars to get away from the incident, which isn't the kind of stuff that we want to see. But that is what I want to see, and I love that.
Absolutely, blue flags waving here for, it looks like, Chris Meadows in the Aston Martin, who's going to have to try and get away from this train of cars that are behind him.
Yeah, I want to just also another guy who's not had a great race so far, Scott Walker, started 9th, down in 35th. He just got lapped by our race leader, and as he was being lapped, he lost it. So unfortunately, he didn't take out the race leader, but I was going to say that I felt that Scott probably could have let the leader pass a little bit earlier. Just a little lift off. I know that we say that it's up to the leading car, but probably put himself under a little bit of needless pressure there, Scott, and I think that's probably why he lost it.
Absolutely, you wouldn't think that getting laps would be a difficult thing, but it can definitely be awkward sometimes when you're changing up how you're driving very slightly.
Yes.
And you're not used to it.
Yeah, it catches because your focus is elsewhere, right, rather than on your braking point, and so that's why I let faster cars pass because I wanna
Get back to your
focus.
race, yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, I just wish others did the same. That's all. Okay, so yeah, have we got any big winners so far?
The biggest probably is Shubnik Chatterjee and Bruce
Yeah,
Hughes.
21st, and even Bruce Hughes as well, like 23rd. So you know they're both in 14th, 15th. So they've made some gains there, haven't they? Oh, and Marcus Heller, he's gone from 29th to 17th, and Adam Rayner, 25th to 18th. So some decent gains there, right? But then obviously there are quite a few losers as well. Actually, Martin Butterman, 36th to 23rd. So if you stay out of trouble, you can definitely gains are to be made. As we can see a few other penalties on screen. Blimey. Yeah, the stewards have been busy. So car 8 has been given a 10-second penalty.
Oh, looks like Eric Strom has got a stop-go 30. I hope that's
That must
for.
be speeding in the
I
pit
hope
lane.
that's for speeding in the pits, not something we've done. He has completed his pit stop, so.
Yeah, it must be speeding in the pit lane, I'm afraid. That hasn't come from the stewards. So car 8, which is Dieter Santon, he's currently in the pit, so he'll be clearing that penalty now. We've got car 52 is about to be applied with a 10-second penalty. Who's 52? Too many numbers. Oh, that is Martin Kube. Well, yeah, I think we saw that one earlier on. That must have been the tap on the Porsche. And yeah, there's a few other racing incidents.
Couple of cars off here in the back. 177 is one of the cars that got really lost in that. That's actually Jesper Eriksson, who's one of our leaders. So let's have a look in the replay on that one. See what happened. Here's him coming down through, I believe that's the first Lesmo. Oh, yeah, just straight into the back of him, one of the Porsches, sending him round through the first Lesmo.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a mare still. He's off track again. And that was close. That was very close. He nearly got rear-ended there because he was slow. And Eric Strom nearly went into the back of him but managed to avoid it at the very last moment. Oh, blimey, there's a 15-second penalty incoming for car 94. That's a hefty penalty, and that would be Eric Strom. So, and he's just entering the pits now.
Yeah, there's a lot of people entering the pits now. It seems our top 6 so far still all running, but almost half of the people below them, you can see right now on the left, are all in the pits. So we're going to have a huge change about here, as we are about halfway through the race, so this is to be expected. People trying to run on as low fuel as possible. Stein Van Dungeon, Jack Taylor still having a nice clean run out in front, far away from anybody else. Bunyan still in third.
Yeah, Bunyan doing very well in the Lamborghini. But I was a moment ago before the pit stop started, I was looking at the track map, and it was obvious that you've got a bit of a spread up front, a bit of a spread at the rear, but then there's quite a congested bit towards the middle of the pack. So it'll be interesting to see how all these pit stops unfold and who's going to lose out.
Yep, especially with the penalties, we'll see a lot of those guys falling right to the back as we are watching down the end of the field for those who have pit so far. Keskinen. I lost that word halfway through there as I was looking. Keskinen being chased down by Daly. We saw one of the Dulls making a nice move earlier before we got distracted by the incident with the Lamborghini.
So I can see the likes of Martins now is out of the pits. He's closely being followed by another car. So and that's Luque. So having a bit of a battle straight away. Obviously they got to get those tyres up to speed. In these kind of conditions, as we know, the cars do tend to run quite fast because it's cooler air. The track's only 16 degrees, and so is the air temp. So should be some decent lap times going on.
We're now seeing all of our front runners pitting, most of them at least, Jack Taylor, Bunyan, and the second of our Doll runners in the Ferrari, all pitting.
Oh yes, yeah, very, and Hodge and Godstick also in. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where where these guys come out in representation of the likes of Jose Martin and Luca, who are currently down in 24th, 25th. But I'm going to have a look at Laszlo Nemeth and how he's doing. He's the first of the runners who further back who was already pitted, so this will be a good gauge of how they're doing. And I can see that there are some cars now leaving the pits. Cars 2, 1, 5 and 4 heading towards the first chicane. Nemeth will be gaining a few positions here. Up into 12th now. The live time on the left needs to update.
Here we have Brian Dahl leaving the pits. Looks like he's just going to almost lose a position, perhaps to that Lexus. You're not sure if they're on the same lap, but if they are, it's Peterson in the number 15 car.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
We'll find out as they come across this line towards the second
race leaders
chicane.
in the pits.
Oh, there we go. That's an interesting one to watch. Stein van Dungeon. He was quite far ahead, so I wouldn't be...
He was, in about 5 seconds. Yeah,
too worried for him as we see the Lexus there. Oh, he got himself all out of position trying to chase down the car in front of him and has now lost a position for his troubles. The Aston Martin and the McLaren go past, and he had to take a bad exit into the first Lesmo. Well, bad entry at least. He's going to try and look for the position back on the McLaren, but no dice. So he's just lost a ton of positions there for being a little bit too hasty on the attempted overtake.
Yeah, but he's got the run on the McLaren. He's in the slipstream, isn't he, right now? So he's got the power of that Lexus, and this could either go one way for me. It could go pretty badly. One of them's got to... Oh, no, they make it... Oh, that's good. That's a good move. Good driving by both of them there.
Yeah, strong work.
Definitely.
Keeping it clean through the Ascari. A very difficult corner to do so.
There's also a battle behind between, I think it's... there's a battle behind on that shot as well, yeah, between Gus versus... No, not Gus versus Eric Hodge and Peterson, is it? Yeah. So Eric Hodge is trying to... I know it might be a back marker, actually. I'm getting very confused. Yeah, it's must be a back marker.
Can happen, especially in these night races where it's a little bit harder to tell via livery who is who. Still quite a few penalties sitting around for these people. They've obviously pit now, so they're going to have to serve them at the end of the race.
Yeah, 15 seconds for 94 and 88, and also 10 seconds for 175.
Stein van Dungeon has come out ahead of Jack Taylor, so keeping his lead nice and safe. The top four, in fact, from before the pits, still in the same order. So now it's going to come down to the interesting pit will be whether Alexander Dahl in the Porsche 223 can come out ahead of Zambrano, who he was racing with beforehand. He is leading the race on track so far.
So there's a close, there is a gap, a good battle between 9th and 10th at the moment, and Dahl letting the back marker know that he wants to get past. I see Monica and Daly are now into the pits.
Yep, so it's everyone but Dahl and Raynor have gone for their pits so far, with 5 minutes left of the pit window, 10 minutes left in the race overall.
Yeah, so I'm just keeping an eye on the battle between 9th and 10th. Nemeth is on the back of Zambrano. They take completely different lines through the Parabolica.
Yeah, you really can. It's one of the interesting corners like that where you can go in tight and come out with a bit more speed, or go in wide and square off the corner more, which I think is the better approach, but it can be a bit more difficult to pull off consistently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I tend to go in tight and come out wide, like a bit of like a slingshot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just shows you how hard this track is.
Yeah, it's very simple, but it's it's trickier than it looks, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of proven by the fact that there are not a lot of close battles out on track at the moment. It's the field is, even though you can see clumps of cars, they're in different doing different parts of the race. They're not necessarily racing each other. So when you look at the live timing, you're seeing bigger gaps than you're visually necessarily seeing on the map.
Although here is a battle. Chris Meadows going for a dive on Keski Kikkonen. Nice move there into the first corner, as long as you can get a good exit out, and the Ferrari actually just taps the curb there, so losing some momentum, and he's now got Cube all over the back of him.
I've also seen that Jonathan Werner is keeping the Aston Martin of Siakis quite close company as well, as he gets a little bit loose into the final chicane at Monza, and the Aston ahead takes quite a bit more of the track. So this gap is spreading just a little bit. You can also see that Bruce Oos is keeping close company as they head towards down the Parabolica on the back of Martins, who's got a 15-second penalty.
Well, that's looking like a move to be made there, but he just ducks out of it just before getting into the corner.
He does indeed, yeah. And then Bruce runs all right, you know. And the thing is, as well, is it's one of those things. You've got that position anyway. You don't want to risk it because the car ahead's already got a 15-second penalty. So it's not a move you necessarily need to make, but because there's a car exit to the pits here as well, which will make this interesting. So, yes, there we go. Right, good decision there by car 25.
Alexander Dahl is our leader right now, and he stays in the lead. Has not gone for his pit quite yet, so we're still going to have to see where he's coming out. He's stretching out this stint right to the last drop of fuel in order to try and complete the overcut on Zambrano.
That is very interesting. So that was Rayner that was coming out of the out of the pits, and he's gone cut through the chicane. Now he's under pressure, and he's lost the position there from Ericsson. That's
very easy to do on cold tyres, that.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. He's come out right in a pack, so he will be feeling the pressure a little bit. And he's now under pressure from the Aston Martin and Chattery as well. That is a little bit unfortunate from him.
Here Hughes is going for a dive on Jose Martins, going side to side into Ascari, as we've seen a couple of times. Little bit of door banging there on the straight, but just both getting into the corner together now. Porsche has to take a lot of curb, but it's the second part of Ascari that really were actually there. The Mercedes going slow because you cannot take the sausage curb on that side of Ascari, or it will shoot you off into the wall.
Still under pressure, got a little bit loose to the second chicane, and to the final chicane even. And Chattery had to back out a little bit. He's gone for the inside, he's dived it, he's made a move on Rayner. I don't know if Rayner saw that coming, but there was no contact between them, surprisingly, and Rayner's about to lose another position to good Stick. I think it's worthy of a replay, that overtake. I don't quite see what happened there.
Let's have a look
at
it.
He just went for a dive, and I think Rayner must have reacted. It was quite late.
There we go. Rayner just holds his line, and he just slips into the little gap that there was between Rayner and the wall there. Really last minute aggressive move from Chatterjee there, but worked out. And then here is the wrong one. Here is Gustav Goldschig then going side by side with Rayner at the end of that little battle.
So and that's what, again, that's the awareness that we want to see from drivers. He looked like I just feel like that was probably a mistake, and Rayner got him out of that.
Yeah. Leaving appropriate space for the driver ahead, and it all worked out as Rayner has kept his position from Gustav in the Lexus and is now trying to follow Chatterjee.
He's under pressure from him now, isn't he? He's under quite a bit of pressure. And hopefully now the pit window is closed.
Yeah, and Dahl is
Dahl
in the pits and just leaving, so he's managed to get there just in time. And this is where it's going to come interesting to see where he comes out compared to Zambrano. Here's Zambrano coming down the pit lane, so Zambrano comes out ahead of him. Nemeth ahead of him. Mpumwashi just coming out side by side into the first corner, but with the extra momentum, he is going to take that position. So that long stint not working out quite for Alexander Dahl. Puts him back out in 7th position.
Rayner still in 17th. He's managed to hold off the challenge, though. The Lexus is now on the inside into the first chicane, and he's going for the move. He's got Aston up ahead. Oh, he doesn't make it, but he's going to try the cutback, is he?
Not enough momentum there from the Lexus, unfortunately, but a nice work. Space given, everything clean, going well.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Honestly, this is, you know, you don't have to lunge everything all the time. So, yeah, really great stuff to see. Just going to do Paddy watch. He's currently in 26. He started 32nd. I'll expect better from your pads. Just so we're clear. He will watch this back. He knows. But, you know, he got promoted from Tier 5, so...
Yep, his rookie season in silver then, as it were. Gonna get acclimated.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It does help knowing who the drivers are.
Yeah, for sure.
Who you can drive. Which was nice when I watched back the stream of the Porsche Cup last week, and Michal said that, you know, I'm a clean driver, and that's what I want my reputation to be.
Yep.
Because I am a clean driver. I work hard for that. So... and I think other people in ACCSS know when I'm on the track that I'm not just going to close that door on them, and then that's why I get good racing, because people will race with me.
Yeah, if you are consistently clean, you will get people being clean with you, because they know that they can go into corners and you will give them space, and they will give you space in return. Exactly. Gorchik there taking a very different line from Rayner, right on the back of him. Doesn't look like he had momentum.
You've got the Lambo Scott Walker behind these two as well, and we know this Lambo's quick at Monza. He qualified well. He's had a bit of a disastrous race 1. Didn't really see what happened to him, but as Goodstead goes to make, there's a 10-second penalty just coming for car 108.
That's Chatterjee, who's just ahead of them.
Oh, so interesting.
That's a position for both of these guys if they can stick with him.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Walker's going to have something to say here. Because Goodstead's now falling off the back a little bit of Rayner. And that Lamborghini looks hungry. Just looks very racy.
Who does? He was even starting to poke his nose out there into the first corner, having a look. He definitely wants to make this happen. And Goodstead's in an awkward place here. It's always the worst being stuck in the middle of one of these, because every little mistake you make trying to get in front of the car ahead is going to put you into the clutches of the car behind. And if you don't make any moves on the car ahead, the car behind is going to get impatient.
Look at this. We're leaders on the final lap as Rayner's under pressure now from Goodstead, because Walker's kind of fallen back from these two in the last few corners. There's something, but now Goodstead's now fallen back from Rayner, and he's now in the clutches of Walker again. And we've got one more lap after this, so this is lunge territory, isn't it? Because
absolutely.
Oh, Rayner's gone wide into the dust, so that will hurt his momentum running down to Parabolica. But to be fair, actually, the McLaren takes it didn't work at all, and then Goodstead's gone real deep into the Parabolicas, closed the gap right up, and this will be interesting to see whether he decides to make a move on Rayner.
Clearly, you've got multiple battles coming down here on the last lap, which is great to see. Pamwashi going on the back of Alexander Dahl.
Goodstead goes for the inside, and we're riding on board with Walker. Oh, he makes the move stick. That was a lunge, and I think Rayner's also now going to be successful to Walker. He had to back out of it a little bit, and he's going to lose 2 positions through the chicane.
Fantastic work there by Gorgstig, and just really unfortunate there for Rayner. Although if he can stick with there, there's 2 positions still up to grab some penalties, so he just needs to hang in there, and he will get those 2 back.
Yeah, Walker just was a bit fortunate there, you know, because obviously Rayner's focus was on Goodstead, which is often what happens. You've got to be in the right place to take advantage. As he runs a little wide, we've missed the
I know you're. Yeah, don't worry, we got it. We got it both
But there's
happening
just
here.
been some great midfield battles this evening, or for race one, which is great to see. But, you know, it's just great to see this clean racing.
Yep, Zambrano will come in to win amateur with Stein van den Dungeon winning pro. We'll try and catch any last-minute battles that are coming through the end. We've got side-by-side here to the line for Pambuashi and Dahl. Pambuashi was going for it, and he's actually got him on the line. That was incredibly close there.
Was close. And we've got a close... Yeah, as Jasper Eriksson's trying to take Hodge into the Parabolica. I don't know. Yeah, I think Eriksson's got him. Yeah. Yeah, blimey. Yeah, so last minute positions right into the final death tonight in race one. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Much better quality driving this race. Obviously, that makes me fear for race two.
Oh, yeah, race 2 is always worse. They've all got their confidence up now. They're like, oh, look, we're clean drivers. We can do it. We've shown that we can do it. And this is when they don't do it. But very good work in the first race. I concur entirely with what Paul is saying. Paddy Redmond there going to just finish ahead of Martin Kube for 27th position.
Oh, yeah, as we know, Chateauby got a 10-second penalty, but also to be applied, I think it hadn't been applied by the time the race was over. There's a 10-second penalty coming in for car 57, who is Mindgus Cioclis.
Yep.
I'm really sorry. And also looks like some 3 other instances to be investigated after the race.
So, of course, as always in motor racing, these are the temporary final places. Confirmed final places will be up there later tonight on SGP. But for now, we definitely seem to have Stein van den Dungeon winning the pro split. Jack Taylor and Mark Bunyan coming in 3rd and 4th. We've now had the penalties that are in game applied. So we've seen a few of our guys down the bottom drop off. You can see here the AM top 10, Zambrano, Pambuashi, Dahl, Werner, Ciausilus, Hodge, Gordstig, Walker, Rayner, and Butterman are our top 10. Hughes, Redmond, Dahl, Van Gaston, and Sirson. Sirson, I think it was. I remember he told me how to say it, but I haven't had to say it for a couple of seasons, so I've forgotten again. But they will take home points.
People tell me all the time, and they're like, pronounce it like this, and then I practice them, and then 30 seconds later, I've already forgotten how to pronounce it. What I need is like to set up like an app that just before I say their name, it plays the audio, and then I just repeat what I'm hearing. That's that's what I need to do.
You need to record yourself saying them all and have just a soundboard of everyone's name that you can.
Or I just get the driver to say it, and then I just have all their voices broken. You know, I think that's what we might need to. I think that's what we might to do. Yeah.
Well, that was our first race of the evening. Thank you all for coming around. Thank you for all of the follows and subs and anything you've been putting down. I haven't been checked that much, but we had a good first race. Hopefully we'll have another second race, and we will see you back then.
could be inside my head. Maybe it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing, to feel the kind of magic that your love brings.
Welcome back to the start of race 2 as our drivers come around the famous Parabolica onto the start-finish straight.
Hope for a clean start as we saw last time. Let's see a repeat. The drivers have been asked to keep it clean. Away they go.
So Van Dungen still leading into the first corner, both the Mercedes behind him. Lamborghini actually was making up quite a big moment there as we go into turn 1.
Inside, yeah. And a little bit of traffic jam up ahead. Oh, as one car's got off the grass and down the escape road. A couple have gone down the escape road now. So, but that was good because no one's really got into the back of anybody. Again, that's fantastic. That's what we want, guys.
There we go.
Very pleased with that.
I can already call this the cleanest turn 1 of the week, I think, because we've had absolutely no incidents there. Into turn 2 now is where we might see a little bit more chaos further down the pack, possibly, but the front is clean, and Van Dungen is still leading the rest off.
Round, and that is... I didn't actually see who it was. Sorry, I missed them. It's annoying. There was a... Oh, Hodge and Rayner.
Oh,
so
no.
Something's happened there with...
We'll hop on with Rayner and perhaps see if we can get a good replay of it. This is Rayner coming down to turn 2. Oh, and there's already Mercedes round and a couple people going off, and he just gets spun there by the Aston into the wall. So an unfortunate one there for those two, both caught up in separate incidents of just a few people each.
That is unfortunate.
Oh, and we had another Porsche spinning just by himself as well, coming through the second Lesmo. So at the front we still have Van Dungen leading from Taylor, leading from Zambrano this time, with Bunyan in 4th position, Jose Martins and Jesper Eriksson behind them. Hopefully we can see a few of the people who fell down the order last time sticking up there, as Eric Strom is also around with someone else. We'll see how this happened. Here is Eric Strom coming through the final corner, or coming up to the final corner, should I say.
Unfortunately got quite a bit of damage on the front of that, his McLaren.
2 cars diving in behind him, and he's just a little bit slow into the corner. The other 2 cars come right around him, and he actually gets tapped by one of them into the other one there, and has to wait for everyone else to come past.
Our race leader, Van Dungen.
Ooh. We're going to hop back into the replay as well, because there's another car spun at the first turn this time. Oh, 3 of them trying to squeeze through there. Didn't quite make it all around.
Lexus getting out of the way. So, yeah. Very interesting. Van Dungen is open up a little bit gap to Taylor in second of a second and some. Oh, and Van Dungen goes wide. Really wide, and loses a little bit of time. Don't know if that gap's now going to come down at all, but wonder if we're going to keep our leader a little bit more honest this time round in race 2.
Yeah, hopefully he can. Zambrano real close up to the back of him as well, all within a second at the front now, a second each. Bound back to Martins, who's got Ericsson close on his heels.
Yeah, Ericsson just set the fastest lap of the race, 150, and obviously got some pace about him. See the Porsche of Alexander Dahl's made a bit. Oh, there's a car round. Is that Robu? Yeah, it is. It's Robu. He just spins there. I think there might be a bit of contact, but oh no, there's more contact with Werner as well. I don't really know. I just don't understand how that's happening. And then there's
in another crash with Luke and a Ferrari.
Oh my.
So once again, Monza not having the big incident in turn 1, but having multiple smaller incidents in the following corners. Very
Yeah,
tricky to pack race here.
MF, and then there's a couple of cars ahead of him that kind of just. Yeah, so what's happened is that car 55 is trying to avoid the other car coming back onto the track. You could say that's a poor rejoin there, which has potentially caused that. So, yeah, I didn't really get to see what happens on Dow, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, Alan Noah pointing out in chat. This seems to be always what happens. The cleaner turn one is, the more aggro people get through the next couple of laps. But we still have pretty close string overall. There is a bit of a split here in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I was hoping the replay would still show me what happened to Alexander Dow into T1, but I've obviously too much time has passed, so I've not been able to have a look. But I will try and go back a bit more, and I can do a custom replay. In a second, when it kicks me back out again, I'll try it. But
On board here with Zach Taylor, just chasing up on the leader. He has done a good job on keeping up with him this time. Following him throughout. Zambrano just behind him in another Mercedes, but obviously a different split.
Yeah, so yeah, he's off the right. It's when T1's clean. Generally, everything else is a little bit crazy, but still kind of didn't really see what happened there with Down. I've got to wait a long time before my game until the replay, because you can't kick out replays. It's really annoying.
It is, yeah. There's an exit replay button on the tool, and I wish it worked, but unfortunately we are stuck with that now.
I'm stuck. Yeah. So I missed it literally by 2 seconds.
As we're seeing the first driver come into the pit, Werner there. We're going for the pits as Keskikinen
is in. That doesn't surprise me with the amount of damage that he's got. Oh,
just going off by himself there. A car in front of him that he just seemed to follow over the curbs.
Yeah, but you tend to do that a lot though, don't you? You just kind of like, you just kind of like focused on the car ahead. Jack Taylor's just said the fastest lap of the race, 1:48.3. Keeping our race leader honest.
Yeah, blinding laps from some of our guys here, really good to see. Got Peterson here, who's pressuring Ericsson a lot. Ericsson has started to fall back a little bit from Martinez, who he was keeping up with.
Walker, I think, is having a better race so far. He's currently finds himself in 12th position. Last time out he was down in the 30s at this point of the race. He still lost positions at the start, but not as catastrophic as and I can see the penalties are coming in, so let's have a look.
Catastrophic. I just seen Jesper Eriksson off, and it looks like he's lost a load of positions here. He's behind the 57 car now. I think that's a back marker, but he is behind the Porsche of Jose Martin. Yeah, there we go. You can see him slipping down the order. It's A. Dahl he's behind.
Oh, and there was so my replay's a little bit behind, but there was Scott Walker got caught up in a lap 1 incident. I'm still in the replay, I believe, at the moment. So, oh no, yeah. Anyway, penalties. Car 42 has got a 5-second penalty. Car 712 has got a 15-second penalty. Car 57 also has a 15-second penalty. It actually has 2 15-second penalties, so they have 30 seconds worth of penalties. Who is car 57?
That's big. That's not what you want to do. I'm assuming he'll be right at the bottom. There he is.
Yeah, 30. Yep, it's them. Butchering that. And then we've got a 10-second penalty coming in for car 10 as well. Who's car 10? Don't see on the list. Wonder if they've exited since, maybe. Yeah, I don't see it. And also a 10-second penalty coming in for car 55. So yeah, some pretty ruthless penalties.
Busy day for the stewards.
We had 33 in total in race 1, and we're currently at 22 for race 2. Obviously, that's just contact, it's not necessarily.
Yeah, not 22 penalties. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So Bunyan was keeping pretty close to Zambrano there for a little bit, but has fallen back now.
So we've got a Mark Bunyan, Jose Martins, and Jesper Eriksson and Jorge Peterson kind of sandwich. That's a very close bunch of cars.
And Nemeth just braking himself there at the chicane.
I seem to have done something to the volume of my game. Which is really annoying. Oh, it's back. Here we go.
So he went off the track there, let the Lamborghini back past, so he didn't get a penalty for overtaking off track. And if he went through fast enough to get ahead of Lamborghini, I'll assume he had a cut for that. We didn't see any drive-throughs for cuts last time. They're difficult to get unless you are skipping those chicanes at Monza.
Yeah, so there we go. The penalty just came in for car 55. That's Dahl. We have a Dahl brother. See, the Butterman's got 10 seconds and Nemeth has 15 seconds. That's really going to hurt Nemeth there, isn't it?
Here we've got Gardstick diving up the inside of Daly. Been really confident on the dives this race and the last. Oh, almost loses it there, but catches it just in time. He's going to lose that position possibly as the Mercedes is on his inside, but might be able to.
I mean, Gus in 10th is laughing, isn't he? Because he's got Ericsson with a 10-second penalty. Oh, and Nemeth goes deep into the corner, and Gus gets that position. Oh, no, he doesn't, I don't think. No, he doesn't. Unbelievable. I'll do a replay of that. So, and we're looking at it. Downey, I was riding on board with Gus. And Nemeth is obviously behind Ericsson. Nearly taps Ericsson. Goes in deep, and I thought Gus has got him. But then runs a little wide, I think loses grip, and then Nemeth just takes it back, which is... But look how close they are there. I mean, there's not a lot of room between them. But Gus versus actually has got past, but they both run wide. That's pretty remarkable. And how they both didn't lose it then.
And that was a nice display there by Nemeth of keeping calm when you've made a mistake like that. Just took it slow through the corner and got the fast exit to keep the position. And he held that for a little while at least, as Gus is now ahead.
Ericsson has managed to pull away from these two. And Nemeth, with the 15-second penalty, and Ericsson up ahead of Gus also has a 10-second penalty. But is Nemeth going to come into the... Taking a line off, which is making me think he's going to come into the pits, and that's exactly what he decides to do. Gus is now in 7th position because of some of the guys, Mbabawashi and Alexander Dahl, Nemeth Daly and Gardstick are all into the pits.
Yep, we're getting towards that 16 to 15 minute mark where we start to see the majority of our races pitting.
Who was that? Somebody just missed the first corner. I didn't catch it. Oh, it was... Oh, yeah.
Chris Meadows there with a dive onto Rubu. Oh, but he goes too far. Took too much speed through the chicane. He's going to have to make that again.
Oh, where's Gus versus going? Oh, carried way too much speed there. Let's have a look at that. Into the second chicane this was. Just misses his braking point. He's trying to catch on to the back of Ericsson, but he doesn't need to put himself under so much pressure because Ericsson's got a 10-second penalty. But I wonder if he's trying to think about catching Martins and Bunyan. I mean, 9-ish, 10 seconds that gap. So
Closest battle we have here in the top 10 is this one between Hearn and Hughes, with I believe that is a back marker in the Aston Martin just ahead of them both.
Taylor and Bunyan both into the pits, and so does Martins as well. Here they're in, 3 of them.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the guys up the front, so we'll see if there's any undercuts happening. There's no one super close together, so we wouldn't expect too much of it to happen as Hearn goes in, so Hearn trying to undercut Hughes as well.
Visto though is on the back of Keski Kukkonen. He's heading towards down the Parabolica. Has a look as we go into it. Thinks better of it. And goes into the pits. Is the Lexus the only car that flashes its headlights when it's in the pits?
It's the only one I think so. Yeah, that has automatic flash in the pit limiter. It's the only one I've noticed that happen with.
Yeah. Right, Bunyan is leaving the pits to clear his pit stops. So is Gus Versus as well. I think Gus Versus got past Bunyan in the pits.
Nice. Good work there.
I think he was behind him, wasn't he?
I really struggled on my pits for some reason in Monza. I don't know why, but I could never quite slow down fast enough to get into my position. I always had to have them shifting me backwards.
So, Gus has got Alexander Dahl right behind him. Obviously, he's got to get his tyres up to temperature. As we saw with Rayner last time round, when he came out in a pack, he lost quite a few positions very quickly because he was struggling with the cold temps in his tyres. So race leaders in the pits, followed by Zambrano. They're both in. Oh, Dahl is really close there. Oh, as I was saying, really close behind Gus. Nearly, I think it was nearly a coming together.
Yep, there's a nice battle behind here as well with Bunyan, Werner and Peterson. Werner almost getting past Peterson there, but now falling back into the clutches of Peterson.
Yeah, they've got... Yeah, that is a close battle as well. Oh, blimey, you've got quite a few drivers here, and then you've got Luque's not that far off this pack either. And then there's another trio behind them of Hearn, Gardsteg and Fernandez. Fernandez not having a great race this time round.
I'm going to have a hop into this one. So it looks like we had Jose Martinez losing it on his own through Ascari, and he was in a good position before this. Oh, is he going to... No? Oh, there we go. Yeah, he was on his outlap. Cold tyres.
Again, the cold tyres are really... I mean, the track temps... I mean, I've only really just noticed it's 3 degrees cooler than it was last race. So... even more of a trouble as Fernandez currently in 21st position, started 13th. I mean, he didn't have a great race 1, not having a great race 2 really, but he's all over the back of Gardsteg as they go into the first chicane. Got Hearn just ahead of these two, having a look, but doesn't make a lunge, which is great. You know, lives in. Oh, there's a car round. It's Peterson. Peterson is lost it into the first chicane. Let's have a look. See what happened there. I think he's done this all by himself, unless he gets taken out by the McLaren behind him.
Oh, there looks like he'd fallen off from the back and quite. Oh, that's a nasty kick on acceleration there.
That's quite a pirouette, that, isn't it? But
yeah.
Luckily, only gives the McLaren. I think that's it was Werner, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Just a little kiss, nothing too dramatic. It's a bit of an awkward position to get back on the track there as well, but now down into 22nd position. So let's go back to that.
So fight here. Oh, Andrew Hearn getting dived by Gordschig. Gordschig once again being really aggressive on the dives, but this time it not coming off as he goes on the grass through Ascari. But now Hearn is being pressured by Fernandez, who takes the wide run through there and is going to be side by side as they come through into the Parabolica.
Technically, is that potentially a move off track?
Well, no, he didn't get it. He lost the position in the end, so
Yeah, he did.
it would have been if he stuck it.
Yeah, but he's got the inside line here, which is going to be an advantage. He's pushing the McLaren slightly wide, but I think McLaren's probably got the straight line speed by the looks of it. So I can see that.
Yeah, nice run there through Parabolica. Managed to keep his foot in through the wider line. Might still be some Aston brakes coming in here. Try to dive to the inside for the chicane, but no. Has to stay too tight to avoid a penalty. Looks for the switchback, but not going to get the acceleration. The turbo lag and the Aston just ruining that for him.
Lost my mouse. There we go. I love it. Right. Just looking at the steward sheet. So we've got a 10-second penalty for car 15 that's come in. Ericsson's now in the pit, so will be clearing his 10-second penalty. Meadows is coming in second, hasn't been in yet. He's still got just over 4 minutes to do that. And 10 seconds for 177 as well. So yeah, a few penalties. 177. I don't see them in my. Oh, that's Ericsson. Yeah. There we go. There's a couple of more instances just being investigated at the moment. Wait to see the outcome of those. But Dahl is now on the back of Gus, trying to put him under a bit of pressure into the Parabolica. He's right on the rear end of that McLaren now. I get the feeling he'll probably make a move into the chicane.
Godstig and Fernandez still battling side by side through Parabolica once again. This time it looks like the Aston might have the better run, but the Lexus once again goes wide and gets a really nice amount of momentum.
Oh, I thought they were going to have a come in together then, because the Porsche made the move quite late on the brakes. The Porsche I didn't think it was going to happen, because it looked like the Porsche didn't have the straight line speed of the McLaren. And then the McLaren sort of got a better traction exit. I thought they were going to, but Gus managed to not do that to avoid a collision, which is great to see. And again now, see that's the problem here, is that into the second chicane again, Gus got a better exit, but had to back out of it because Dahl didn't. And that is the challenge sometimes when you're following another car. Is now you saw it at the start of the F1 race the other week. Is that if you have to back out, but the other cars don't. Yeah. You get the Constantino effect. You get an advantage.
And that same sort of thing with Godstig and Fernandez fighting here has brought Scott Walker and Shubnik Chatterjee into this battle. They are right on the back of these two now, and as they're starting to pull away now, but as soon as they start fighting again, we'll see Walker and Chatterjee going for it.
Same here, we got Bunyan getting onto the back of this battle, so that's 8th, 7th and 6th, but Bunyan just ran a little bit wild, but then behind that I can see Luke Martins and Werner also very close together. So there's a lot of little battles going on right now, which is great to see around the track. So
Yep, seems like
Martin,
everyone has finished their pit stops now and is back out, so we've got all these fights back together, and our leaders are still in the same order at the front of the pack as well.
Yeah, so that gap has extended a little bit. It's not as high as it was in race 1, but Meadows is in the pit, so he's falling back. He's now moving, I believe, so we'll just see where he pops out in. Luke in 9th is going to fall back a few positions once that penalty moves is applied at the end of the race.
So they didn't fight this time, Fernandez and Godstig, but Scott Walker looking a little bit racy here. Has managed to make a nice run through Parabolica and is challenging Fernandez without him even losing time for that. Chatterjee not able to keep up with the rest of the pace of these, but Fernandez is going to be stuck on the outside of this corner as he comes through the second chicane, and he's actually not even going to get that far. He is behind Scott Walker.
So it looks like, I'm just doing a replay because it looks like Bunyan's got past Gus. So it looks like it was done into the first chicane. It looked like it was done by the time they even got down the back straight into the. So the Lamborghini using that power in the engine there and making the move pretty easy, really. So now Bunya will be setting his sights on Dahl ahead. Might be Dow. I don't know if it's Dow or Dahl, to be honest. Could be Dow. But yeah, Walker's obviously through the round of pit stops has fallen back again. He's unable to. Oh, as
McLaren looking there, yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Luckily, nothing came from that. That's the sort of incident that ACC can really throw cars a little bit more than you'd expect,
Yeah.
but nothing came from that, thankfully.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I think Gus is going to fall into the back, into the clutches of Michael Luque and potentially Jose Martins and Jonathan Werner, who are all close behind. And Martins and Werner at the moment are having a relatively close battle out on track cars 87 and 88.
Walker goes defensive and holds off the position from Fernandez, so good work by him. Doesn't want to do that too much though, because now Gordstig is starting to pull away a little bit from the other two.
Yeah, so no more penalties so far by looks of it, which is good to see. Oh, Martins gets a little. The Porsche did not want to come out of that corner there, and that's put him into the clutches of Werner now as they go through the fast middle section of the track. I mean, to be honest, all the track is pretty fast, but again, it's already managed to open up that gap again, the Porsche there, so wasn't able to take full advantage of that, but these cold temperatures playing a part in this race.
Anti-Manika here. Maninka being chased down by Peterson. Peterson does have that 10-second, but is going to want to make that position on track nonetheless.
Mbabawashi having a solid race out in fourth position. Is Dieter Santon's in the pits. I wonder if that is a...
That's going to be retirement this late, I think. So Peterson actually passed Maninka, and it's Jay Daly that is chasing him down. Chris Meadows, you can see they're just taking the Parabolica ahead of us. He's behind that Fernandez-Chatterjee battle, which Chatterjee was the one who was falling off from the rest of this battle as Walker already got past. He is now side by side with Fernandez going down into the first turn.
Jack Taylor's just set the fastest lap of the race. He has closed that gap down a little bit to Taylor. It was 4.5 seconds. It's now around about 3.5 seconds. He did a 1:47.8 last time around, and that was nearly a whole second quicker than our race leader at the moment. So, but we've only still got 2 minutes and just over 2 minutes to go, so I can't see that happening. I can see that Alexander Dahl is going faster than Bawashi in fourth, but again, I don't know if he's got enough time to really make that count.
So, very close there, Chatterjee, to the back of Walker. Walker been slow into a few of these corners, perhaps defending more than he needs to. Fernandez getting slowed down here and is now looking to be taken by Meadows as well.
Car off! Car 88! Is that Martins? Yes, it is.
That is Martins.
I will replay that.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
He loses it all by himself.
And Martin seems to be having a real struggle bus right now as...
runs wide, hits the grass, bosh, into the wall. Oh, I think everyone else manages to avoid him, which is good to see.
And as you come out of your while you're in your replay, he managed to spin it again, and we can see him here at the side of the track. Just trying to get back on. Passed by that whole battle, manages to get on safely, but just having a nightmare in these last few laps. Not sure what's happened, but just that Porsche becoming a real issue for him as we get further into the race.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Meadows has had a solid race too. Qualified
Yes.
26th. He's currently finds himself in 17. I think we need to acknowledge that.
Yeah, and he was almost taking Fernandez there as well. They've been having he's managed to catch up to this battle as Fernandez is side by side with Chatterjee once again, trying to take that position back. Fernandez has been in the absolute wars at the end of this track. Oh, just a really gentle tap there, but sends Chatterjee around and into the nose of Chris Meadows.
These guys are close. Ericsson is all over the back of Oos into the second chicane as they go.
So Chris Meadows has now, because of that, lost the position to Peterson, but gained the position on Chatterjee, who was thrown around. So he's in the same position now.
A couple of exciting battles going on here towards the closing stages of this race. Once again, just like race 1. So the countdown's now hit 0. We'll hear in our ears at some point, leaders on the final lap, unless it's already been said and I missed it. But
there we go.
there it is. It's right on cue. This is a battle and a half here. Oh, I think that. Oh, yeah, the Lexus. I knew it. I could see it. The Lexus was going to hit Ericsson. I was just about to say that Lexus is looking a bit. I hope he doesn't hit the back of. And yeah, and it happened quicker than I could say those words. So that's unfortunate. So that means a few positions by the likes of Walker and Fernandez, Goodsteg and so forth. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. That kind of ruined that quadruple of cars, that battle there. But Bruce currently now in 10th position. He's got Andrew Hearn relatively close to him. Now starting their final lap.
No, they finished.
Oh, they finished.
They finished. We missed it. That was the end.
Oh.
We just caught the leader doing it as we were having all those exciting battles on the last lap.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Some brilliant racing. Really pleased with that.
So if you look at our timetable, there are a few penalties that are still lingering, but Van den Dungeon wins his second race of the day. Fantastic work by him in the Lexus. Taylor second, Zambrano winning the AM split again. Mpamwashi and AM taking the second place for AM, and Alexander Dole taking the final podium spot for AM ahead of Bunyan, who takes the final podium spot for the pros. We then have, I believe, Gus, who has penalty less, and then Martin Lurk, who has a 10-second penalty. So he's going to drop, it looks like, perhaps all the way to 11th. Here we go. We get to see it for real now. Yeah, all the way to 11th. So Gus, then Werner, Hughes, Hearn, Lurk, after his penalty, Walker, Gorgestig, Fernandez, Meadows, Chatterjee, Maninka, Ericsson, Cube, and Peterson make up the top 20 of our overall race. Have a look lower down the standings so you can see. While I asked Paul,
I'll put the lower standings on my one for you. So
how those were good races, Paul. Went
they were
well.
brilliant. Yeah. I think the silver split redeemed itself this week. You know, I think we put the fear in them so much that they behaved. Yeah, really great to see some great battles. You know, there are, as we saw, I think at Paul Ricard last season. You know, a battle could be ruined by one mistake. But tonight, I felt like there was just lots of individual battles going on, which is really great to see, and it's just hard to know where to look because there's so much going on. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Really happy with that, and well done to Van Dungan. You know, some great racing this evening. So
yeah, he qualified first and just led the whole field for both races. So fantastic work by him. Good work, Jack Taylor, keeping it closer in the second race, but not able to really challenge. And, that was a good week from the Silvers. Obviously,
there'll be a couple of drivers disappointed, you know, where they started and where they finished in both races. I think one of those particularly, I think, will probably Mr. Walker. I don't think he'll be, you know, too pleased with his performance. Obviously, there are those instances which are not your fault. And yeah, felt a bit sorry for Martin at the end there, race 2. You know, just struggling to keep that Porsche facing the right way.
Absolutely. So thank you to everyone who turned up and was watching with us. We had a load of people here today. It was good to see. Good to see the follows that we had and such. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to support us with your follows on Twitch Primes, greatly welcome. We're streaming right now Saturday and Sunday every week for our AM and our our silver and our gold splits. Gold split at Monza will be tomorrow, hosted by me with Mihai, and silver should be back with Dan Terry and, of course, your man from the Race Department podcast, Paul Glover. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully you'll follow us for next time, and exclamation mark sign up in the chat if you want to join our Discord and come race with us. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.